What's going on, gamers? Every day there always seems to be some crazy news lately. And then Microsoft gets it, they just hand Sony the most comfortable pill in the world. So lay down, don't worry about it. That I always seem to do that. It's like Sony had their stuff with Bluepoint, but then it's almost like it never happened, right? Because here comes Microsoft to say, don't worry about it. It's all fine. So apparently there is more reporting on Xbox leadership changes, and definitely when it comes to Sarah Bond. And I pretty much thought that this was the case too, but Xbox is pretty much in trouble before that, but this definitely doesn't help. So the Xbox Anywhere, like everything is an Xbox, was Sarah Bond's plan. And apparently, when that was going on, a lot of people did not agree with it. Obviously, who would? Um, and when that was happening, as you see right here, Charlie Intel, we're going to get to another aspect because obviously Tom's article has it, but it's walled off and paywalled. They'll do that. This is an Xbox ad was her idea and offended many internally. And apparently, when it offended many people internally, if you didn't agree with it, you were out and you were not a part of the plan, which that's not very good, according to what people are saying. We're going to take a look at something else that Exodus has, who gives a little bit more details off of Tom's article, which you can't get in if you're not on the subscribe thing. You know what I mean? That's kind of annoying. But this was going on the whole time and nobody knew. And now it's brought out because they're leaving, right? So I think that this actually makes sense. And it says, writing on the wall for Sarah and Phil to leave, which we've been talking about this. Phil Spencer, it was kind of like, buddy, it's kind of time to retire now. You've been here for quite some time. You've had your run. So probably faster than he wanted. And for Sarah Bond, apparently there was some uncooperation, attitude, and all this other stuff, and just bad ideas and leadership was not working. People internally relieved that she left, it said. So these are 4 highlights of what's going on Insider Gaming. As we know, Tom down here on TheVerge.com. But like I said, if you click on there, it has that subscribe thing and it doesn't let you get the intel. But I have another aspect that actually gives more deeper details. But this is what I just ran into from Charlie Intel. So this type of stuff here is interesting. Apparently, there was always some internal conflicts going on. But there was like this boss rush of leadership, which that doesn't surprise me. And yeah, she didn't know what she was doing, obviously, because every Xbox Anywhere, you know what? I mean, you got to find a way to branch out, but this is an Xbox ad? Oh boy. But yeah, no exclusivity. That was never going to happen. That was over with. Phil Spencer was kind of like, they were kind of like doing their own thing to a certain extent, it seems like right here. But to give more information, we're going to get to that in a second. J-Dub says Xbox was a failure long before she got there. We all said she would be using a scapegoat. Well, once again, let's not use any excuse here. This is an Xbox ad. It has nothing to do with that, though. That's what she chose to do in Xbox Anywhere. So we're talking about this. And people internally relieved. Because let's go back. This is what I found to get more information right here from Ecstasis. This is what they're saying. Here it is. It says, breaking. Insight on the Xbox leadership change thanks to The Verge about Sarah Bond than internal reality describes. Well, take a look at this. We're not going to blame her for failure of Xbox. That goes way back to Don Matrick. No, this is why there were some problems going on because people want answers. All that other stuff. If you want to play the praise and blame game all day, go ahead. Widespread relief among employees. Internally, she was seen as someone difficult. This is what it says right here. Has an attitude for certain things. She had created a structure where if you question her vision, you were out. So this right here is a lightning aspect. So right here we see this. So there was no unity going on with that. It was, I'm going to push this and I'm going to enforce my agenda. So that's seen as difficult, as we see right over here. She had created a structure where if you question her vision, you were out. That's seen. And then we got next, her Xbox Everywhere approach failed. It did. But I mean, like I said, Xbox was definitely in trouble before that. This is an Xbox. Yeah, that was the dumbest campaign I've ever seen in my life. I'm telling you right now, I don't care who did that. And I was saying it too, like, why are you trying to brainwash people to make them believe this is an Xbox? Like, that did not work at all. And it went terrible for the ROG Ally, and it sold like crap. Which downgraded or downplayed the physical console. Basically, you don't need an Xbox. Just killed off the hardware. Yeah. Ended up offending many employees internally. So there was 2 times that happened. And if you question it, you were out. That's not good leadership because That's like saying you think you know what you're doing, like you're about to lead gaming into something better. And you're to her, to me, she's not a true gamer. Phil Spencer is a gamer. Yes, he knows what he's doing, and it's insane that he kind of allowed that too. So I do not agree with that, because he's supposed to be the CEO. But I guess he was seeing if her ways worked, and obviously, yeah, that was one of the worst campaigns I've ever seen. And now they're trying to say that when it comes to Asha Sharma, her internal vision, although most employees are worried about her arrival, she is not perceived internally as someone coming to kill the council. Why would she need to? It's already dead. You see what I mean? What do you kind of like? What is she gonna revive it with some voodoo magic or something? It's like, get out of here. That's not gonna happen. It's dead. You can't recover that. That's I mean, there's not much you could really do. I mean, let's see what she tries to do, but you kind of get the idea. It's so far down in the grave and in the water. I don't know how that's even possible. But apparently she's somebody who understands how to sync more with a team, not have an attitude, and be more unified. This is what is basically this post is saying. And then those who knew her describe her as enthusiastic and highly capable of getting teams to execute a clear vision focused on winning users. That's the problem though. Like when you see how much damage has been done to the Xbox brand, it's pretty much, yeah, head cut off, laying on the ground, bleeding to death, barely any blood left. And like I said, dirt over the body, into the grave, nails into the coffin, and then taking a leak on it, and it's like, what are we going to do with this situation? This is even worse than the Don Match situation, because it's like, that was already doing so much damage, but now it's far down there after everything that's been going through. And then trying to get Activision on top of that. How'd that turn out? Now you want to jack the price up of everything? Game Pass going $30, hardware being overpriced but not selling. Sony making the mistakes they could, but they're allowed to because there was no competition from Microsoft. Now Nintendo is in their face and having that third-party market share and all that, so they have to focus on them now. But I mean, it's cool seeing that, but this type of stuff is something that should have happened a while ago if you were thinking about that. People that knew what they were doing. We're talking about people who are actually gamers here, but now we're moving to AI executives. It's like everything with Microsoft, like I say, it goes backwards. You got all these people in these positions. You got all these hires, but they're not gamers. Sarah Bonnett's not a gamer, and she never was to me. She's not a gamer, and she never will be. You know what I mean? It's like, and what I mean by that is that it's not it in your heart and soul to be a gamer. It's more like I want to be in this position and I want to be this boss and don't listen to me or you're out. It's like that's not what gaming needs. It needed somebody who understood what needed to be done immediately because it was in a critical emergency situation. Like the Xbox brand. It's in critical emergency situation. And Phil Spencer he's retiring. Or being forced out, right? He tried what he could. None of that stuff really truly worked to where it's like Xbox is back alive and it's competing and it's growing. None of them could do it. I know if Phil couldn't do it, nobody else could really. Because at that point it was like, what else are you really going to do? I think the Game Pass idea was genius to a certain extent, but not to the extent to where you kill your damn market and you can't sell anything anymore. And then brainwashing people to believe something is an Xbox is just absolutely moronic. It's like, what is that going to do? Because everybody knows it's not. And then if not, listening to people to realize that, no, if you do this, you're going to embarrass the whole Xbox brand. And then not complying with people, it's like all of them, they don't know what they're doing. Matt Booty, he don't know what he's doing. I mean, it was a disaster for him. Satya didn't know what he was doing. So you got all these people who are inexperienced in gaming. They're not gamers. Sarah Bond's not a gamer. Asho's not a gamer. Satya's not a gamer. You know what I mean? Only Phil Spencer. And then you got Larry Herb, who loved gaming. He's out. They all left. And you just look at this whole situation, it makes sense. Everybody knows this. This is not anything new here. It's just more like now things are coming out and you're seeing the truth here. I'm not defending wrong. If all this right here, she's wrong. It's quite clear. You see what I mean? Putting an AI executive to replace that is not really going to help either. But what they need more than anything, according to them, is people who are not difficult and people who want to execute with team vision. Satya's a team-oriented guy, but him saying, get AI or you're out is wrong too. And focused on winning users. It's like, yeah, it's cool that you're doing that. You do need that, but you needed it way before this. So it's a problem here. You know what I mean? So we see all this going on. And now we got some more answers about how she was on the inside rather than somebody appearing on the surface with a smile and appearing nice. But inside, you're making everything worse and you're not working with anyone and you're just enforcing that agenda. And doing this type of stuff over here. This is an Xbox campaign and all this other, it didn't work. That's not what people wanted. That's not how 360 got into the position to win against PlayStation and get all those NPD wins. It's like, what did you do when you were actually winning? Why didn't anybody never think of that? You see what I mean? Xbox One, what are you doing? You were in a winning position. You went to do the TV stuff. You did all this dumb stuff that does not work. You want to know why? You were doing what you didn't do to win, and it was working. And you went to do something else. This is Microsoft for you lately. It's like, then as Xbox One keeps on going on, you're still doing what you didn't do to win. And then teams were tanking down. Halo was getting worse. Gears was getting worse. Only Forza was kind of upholding things. Fable fell off. Peter left. You know what I mean? All these people, they all left. And then you were trying these new things because you didn't know what to do. That's called you lost your identity. When you were winning, you had a strong identity. See, it means you had an identity. And then now there's all these identity crises going on and all these people coming in that are not identified as a gamer. See, that's another identity problem. And then they're just trying to all push their ways because they all think they're right. They're all in their ego because they got in this position. But then you find out, oh, you all failed. You thought you knew what you were doing, but gaming is not like those other worlds. It's a lot more complicated than that. A lot of people are finding this out lately. You see? They don't have the gamer's best interest at heart. So how are you going to win gamers? Don't tell me you can't understand a gamer and win. That you can't understand it. Yeah, these people say, oh, yeah, you don't need to understand. What do you mean? How are you going to win a gamer if you don't understand them? Then they pull up the GTA guy. Yeah, but he knows what he's doing. All the gamers love that stuff. I said you got to understand gaming. You understand gaming, you understand gamers. They're happy because you understand the community. Not just enforcing your way in. Or climbing up a ladder, getting in a position you don't belong in, and then realizing that you didn't know what you were doing, so you got fired. Or you got left out. Yeah, because if you knew what you were doing, you ain't going nowhere. Phil Spencer, for the longest, knew what he was doing. That's why he was at Microsoft for 38 years. You see what I mean? Until it got so bad that it's over now. I understand that. But I don't believe anybody's going to replace him and do a better job because it's too bad now. It's hard. So this is not a video blaming Sarah Bond, but this is putting her mistakes out and saying, yeah, this is what you did. It's not about you destroying Xbox. It was already destroyed. Yeah, everybody knows this. No, it's about you didn't really help, though, since we now see the light on the truth. Like, that was you that did that. That was you that did that. You were being difficult. It was already a sinking ship regardless. I was telling people that a long time ago. But you got to own up for your mistakes. This is what happened. So now we get some more light on things, and now we see what's going on. And with Satya's mind, if you're not going to be a team player, get out. And I've seen that. And without Phil Spencer's leadership, you wouldn't have got nowhere near there. I can see that. That's very true. I never thought she should have been in there in the gaming world like that. You don't belong in there. It's not really your world. I don't believe it's her world either, or Satya's. You see what I mean? They're not really gamers. The gaming industry is tough, and when you're in this type of situation in the Xbox world, it's an impossible situation. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing about that. So the thing is, try to do what you can best now, but I mean, the Xbox brand, it's been a sinking ship for quite some time since Xbox One. And it's always been on this downhill slope. You know what I mean? And like I said, Phil Spencer tried to do what he could with the crazy train, but there's only so much you can do. So it ain't about pointing the finger and said, you destroyed Xbox. Like, oh, no, it was already on its way. It's more like your method didn't work and you made a lot of mistakes and you were difficult to deal with. And you had stupid ideas that did not work. Xbox everywhere. This is an Xbox. Worst campaign I've ever seen. Like, I'm like, who is this for? You know what I mean? But the worst move ever for Xbox was what Don Matrick and them did. Because that destroyed everything they built up to the highest degree. We're just talking about what she did as like, when you were there, this is the mistakes you made. Other than that, I mean, it's whatever. But we got the information here. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think about this. But obviously, I could see her being more team-oriented, wanting to listen. Like, obviously, you could see that. Like, that's not hard to see. But it's really late. Like, there's so much damage done. Let's let it play out. Obviously, what else can we do? But we already get the idea here. So I want you guys to let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe as usual. Peace out. Have a great day.